Hi, I'm going to create a new NumberFlow diagram. I have the NumberFlow package installed. I'm going to create a new NumberFlow diagram asset. I can open the editor now and start adding nodes. First, I will create an output color node. I can give it a solid color over here, but that's not interesting. Instead, I'm going to use a gradient. Now this gradient starts off as solid white. I'm going to make it go from red to white, and I'm going to put black in the middle. Now I can hook my output to my gradient. It will still give me a solid color because I'm using a constant value to index the gradient. Now I use the U coordinate, the horizontal texture coordinate, to index the gradient. And now we get some interesting results. I'm going to use a sinusoid node to create a sine wave based on my texture coordinate. And it looks like this. I'll set its frequency to 5. Now sine waves start at 0, then go to 1, then go to -1 and back to 0. Gradients expect a range from 0 to 1. That's why we have these solid blocks of red over here. So I will change my range from +1 to -1 to 0 and 1. There we go. Now I'm going to introduce another sine wave. This time I'm going to use V. And then I'm going to multiply them together. The result is a checker pattern. Another thing I can do is animate my texture. I'm going to need an input node. I'm going to use a float. I'm going to call it time. And for example, I'm going to use it as an offset for my horizontal wave. You can change these input nodes through scripts. Fortunately, you can also change a float node in the editor by using animate preview and input my input name. And now it will be linked to the elapsed time. And it starts moving. I want to slow it down a bit, so I'm going to scale it down. Now it's slowly moving, but it's moving uniformly. That's not very interesting. I'm going to change the direction for alternating horizontal rows. I will use my vertical sinusoid for this. It runs from +1 to -1, and this will alternate for successive rows. Now I'm going to use a boolean here. I'm going to check, is this float value greater than 0? If so, I will choose a value of 1, otherwise a value of -1, and I will multiply my input time with this value. Use that. Now the rows are going in opposite direction. It's getting a bit messy here, so I move my nodes around a bit. And I can also go full screen. I have more room to work with. Like this. Another thing I'd like to do is put a little variety into it. I'm going to introduce yet another sinusoid. I'm going to key it to U, set the frequency to 1, and I'm going to use it as an offset. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing the other way around. You get this interesting checker pattern. I'm going to switch on my previews here to see how it times. Now I lost my time again. I can use it as an offset for this one. Or I can just add it instead of using it as an offset. I can now use my diagram in my application to generate textures at runtime, to generate animations at runtime, or I can export these images or animations directly from the editor and then use them as regular textures. Now I am very interested in what kind of neat diagrams you come up with yourself. Have fun!